This is the Wealthy Retailer Podcast with your host, Dan Holman. Every episode, Dan talks with a variety of retail experts, owners, managers, and so much more, sharing their expertise, their experiences, and the retail topics that matter to you, the independent retailer. The Wealthy Retailer Podcast is brought to you by Canadian Retail Solutions. Learn more at retailbycrs.com.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. I am your host, Dan Holman. And this week on the podcast, we've got Marco Torres joining. Marco is the founder of marketingboost.com. He's helped thousands of business owners worldwide boost their sales, and scale their businesses by as much as fivefold. He uses an incentive-based marketing platform, and he's teaching entrepreneurs how to soar their sales and their marketing using this value-add incentives instead of discounts. Marco, welcome to the podcast. It's a pleasure to have you today.
Thank you, Dan. My pleasure to be here.
Yeah, so let's talk about incentive-based marketing. As you and I chatted a little bit about before we clicked the record button, you know, we live in this independent retail world, and certainly lots of our sales are boosted or bolstered by discounts. So any way to mitigate some of that markdown or discount, we're all ears.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the challenges that I see a lot of my clients face is, you know, we're all in a competitive space mostly. And I mean, actually, if you're not with in a space with a whole lot of competitors, you may be in a too small a niche, right? Because all of us typically have a lot of competitors, and it's tempting to start discounting to beat your competitors, and then you end up, you know, racing your way down to zero. Yes. So we found, you know, we've helped a lot of business owners in all types of niches, not just retail, come up with ways to add value versus discounting. Obviously, I'll tell you more about our products and later on in the conversation, where what we offer is the tools to be able to add some very powerful travel incentives to whatever offering you do. But my concept is really about is teaching members to, you know, find products of your own. We've learned and through tons of psychological studies that people respond better to bonuses, to widgets, to additional units, to buy one, get one offers, to all types of different incentives that you might be able to figure out how to add from your own product line versus discounting. People, you know, in where I live in Florida, for example, I walk into grocery stores and right at the entrance, it's usually this huge, big, you know, baskets of buy one, get one free offers. And it's almost like they doubled the price in the first place. You know, yesterday you could have bought a can of beans for $2.95, and today there's two for $5.50. So they lowered the price, you know, a few cents, but they got you to step up and buy two of cans now, a higher retail sale, and you see people stopping at those, you know, picking up the buy one get ones left and right, because you get that feeling of I'm getting a deal here. And it may not necessarily be that great of a value, but the perception was buy one, get one free. And so you ended up picking up some of those things you had no intentions of buying as an impulse purchase, and now you're adding to your grocery cart some extra stuff. So that's kind of what I'm referring to as I refer to incentive-based marketing.
So then in terms of the strategies that you're using, are you primarily leaning on adding to their shopping cart? Is that your goal, is to increase their basket size or their average sale ahead of all else?
Yeah, I definitely think that's one of the key issues there. So instead of discounting one item, try to find ways to add additional, you know, maybe it's products or services that are getting stale on the shelves that you haven't moved in a while. So you might say, you know, if you get product A, you know, we're going to throw in product B to go with it as a bonus. And of course, you know, you price it accordingly. And that's just finding ways to, again, move some of your own product or services you know, in the retail world, as you mentioned, so that you can move those additional products or services that may not be moving very well. So adding them to the picture, and then so whenever you let me here, I'll get into how the tools that I offer with marketing. I don't want to sound like too much of a sales opportunity, but our program has been huge in helping all kinds of clients actually add that perceived value to their offers without discounting.
All right, fire away. I'm all ears, and I'll poke some questions in as you truck through this for me.
Sure. Well, first, let me explain what Marketing Boost is in the first
Yes.
place. It's a subscription model, very low priced. So right off the bat, as listeners are listening, they'll realize, look, the price point is so low. Any entrepreneur, any retailer, any business can use our services. It's only $37 a month. So what do you get for $37 a month? Well, we provide our business owners, our members, the ability to give away 3 different types of incentives that we offer on an unlimited with our subscription plan. You can give away as many of these as you want. And we offer travel incentives, 2 travel incentives and a restaurant savings vouchers. One is complimentary hotel stays in over 125 destinations around the world, from 3-night stays in places like Orlando, Las Vegas, Daytona Beach, Miami, New York, San Diego, 30 US destinations, 5-night stays in places like Hawaii, Cancun, Puerto Vallarta, Cabo San Lucas, Punta Cana, 7-night stays in places like Phuket, Thailand, Bali, all over Europe, all over Australia. And then we offer hotel savings cards, which come in increments of $100, $200, $300, and $500. They're good at over 1 million hotels worldwide that save on the price of the rooms compared to retail. And then there's restaurant savings vouchers at at restaurants all over the US and Canada at $100 increments. Now, you might be asking, well, how can I use these travel incentives in the travel space? So let me start giving you some ideas. One, we talked
Retail
about
space, I mean.
I'm sorry?
How do I use them in the retail space?
Yes,
Yeah.
if I said travel, I mean, my bad. Yeah,
Right.
How do I use these? Because the question comes up, well, I'm not in a travel business. How would I use a travel incentive in my retail world? And here's a couple of ideas. One, for example, create a loyalty program. So instead of, maybe, your client comes to your site and they'll buy, whatever, $50, $100 on this particular visit. The idea being is that, can you get them to either spend more on that first visit, or can you get them to make it a habit to come back and shop on your site more often? So you might come up with a way to say, hey, if you spend $500 a month, and again, I'm just throwing out numbers because it would really depend upon whatever your average ticket sale is and whatever your goal is to increase it. So let's say your average ticket sale is $100 and then they're gone and they may or may never be back. So if you came up with a loyalty program, you might, and you've got their email and everything, you could start a series of drip messages to get them to come back and shop more often. And now it might be, listen, if you shop with us, and shop for as soon as you reach $500 in sales, or rather in purchases, we're going to reward you with a complimentary hotel stay of 3 nights in your choice of Las Vegas or Orlando. Or maybe you use one of the smaller incentives. If you will reward you $500 in purchases, we'll reward you with $500 hotel savings card, good at over 1 million hotels worldwide. And then next month you're doing a promo and saying, if you get, $500 the following month, we're going to reward you with a $100 restaurant savings voucher, good at, in your zip code at restaurants all over the USA and Canada. The following month, you might come back with, hey, we're really running a fantastic promo this month. If you purchase up to, $500 this month, we're going to give you, reward, or you're going to be entered to win a 5-night trip to Cancun, Mexico, and so on and so forth. Just ideas on how you can re-engage and get your past database shopping back with you again, running a contest to win with every purchase. Maybe you come up with every purchase enters you to another chance to win a 5-night trip to your choice of Cancun or Hawaii, and so forth. So I can get into more about, it also sounds too good to be true. So Dan, I can tell you more about how this actually works as well, if we got time.
I would like to know how it works. And I'm just going to ask, is travel coming back? I mean, we've gone through a couple of years of really limited travel. So when you talk about success, are we thinking, is our measurement pre-COVID success? And then as we're looking forward, the demand that is being increased, or an increasing demand in travel for people?
Absolutely. Well, I've been in this space. I've been in the travel space since the mid-90s. And we launched Marketing Boost, what is Marketing Boost today, in 2017. And of course, in 2020, 2021, we saw a dip in membership. A lot of members were like, well, no one's going to want travel. But those that stuck with us found that our travel incentives continued to be a big draw because people still knew deep down that, hey, as soon as this pandemic is over, I'm going to want to travel. So when somebody activates one of our certificates, for example, the complimentary hotel stays are good for 18 months. So they don't have to have travel dates in mind immediately. They have 18 months after they activate the certificate to select travel dates and go. The hotel savings cards are never expire. And same with the restaurant vouchers. Now, the demand that we're seeing now is unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. We're back to pre 2020, back to pre-COVID traffic. I've never seen so many activations or usages of the certificates. I call this revenge travel. I mean, people have been penned up now for going on 2 years. They're tired of it. They're ready to get out of the house. They're ready to go somewhere, whether it's at least a drive-to destination for what do they call it, staycation, a 3-night getaway, or they want to get on a plane and go somewhere and spend longer.
Okay, so let's then answer the first objection. This sounds too good to be true. How does it really work for a retailer?
Sure. So we came up with this marketing boost program as kind of a byproduct of one of our other travel sites that was really doing well. At the beginning, we launched it in 2010, a travel site that was booming. And we needed to come up with an idea. We needed to come up with a way to generate. And this idea can be used by any business owner, regardless, because we all need reviews. We all need testimonials. So here's what we did. We wanted video testimonials from our clients that would show people, thrilled and excited about the hotel they were staying at the beach, at the pool, at the resort. So we thought we'd do a survey, and this is the idea that anybody can use. We thought we'd do a survey at the peak of their happiness, the day after check-in. And this can be the day after they receive your products or services in the mail. So you could do something similar with a survey just to check on them and make sure they're happy with your service. Our survey would be, hey, how is this hotel living up to your expectations? How is our service so far? Would you give us a score of 1 to 5? And if we got a 4 or 5, we would immediately via automation send them a text message and an email saying, we're thrilled that you're having a great time and you're loving the hotel. Would you be willing to, we'd like to ask you a huge favor. Would you be willing to help share the word about this hotel and about our brand, and film a selfie video testimonial from the pool, the bar, the beach, the restaurant, whatever you like best about that hotel. Brag about the hotel brand and brag about our brand. And if you would do that, we're going to reward you with a complimentary bonus hotel stay at your choice of Orlando or Las Vegas. And that took off. And before we knew it, we had dozens and then hundreds of these video testimonials coming in, which we were leveraging all over our website to generate thousands of additional sales and millions in revenue over time. And so the lesson there is solicit reviews. You need to be asking reviews, and you should be doing it in a way that you're really and making it easy for the client. You're sending them the links, post the review here, and you can throttle them like we used to. We throttle them, send them to like we still do rather. I'd send some of the people a request to post a review on TripAdvisor, others on Trustpilot, others on SiteJabber, the Google My Business, Facebook, Better Business Bureau. And spread out these reviews so that Google would see all these reviews coming in from different sites and just load them up. When you searched our brand name, we'd all be there. And so that's a lesson and a tip that anybody can use. Now, the video testimonials are hard to come by. So that's where the incentive, asking them to, if they would do a video review of our product, we would reward them with a bonus trip. Now, here's how this came up. Now we had these trips coming and people were, calling us to use their free trip, raising their hand. Hey, I want my free trip to Orlando or Vegas. And now we were having to go into our pockets to pay for those rooms. And it was like, whoa, that's getting expensive. And although it was worth it to us, we had to find a way now to, how do we reduce the cost of these rooms that we're giving away to these folks? So we reached back out to our travel partners with an idea. It says, look, we know you got a problem. Your hotel is never full year round. You're full on certain weekends. You're full on peak season. You're full for holidays. You're full for special events. But the 70% of the year, 30% of your rooms are unsold. And we know that, and you know that. So we can help you fill those rooms with warm bodies, couples, families that are going to spend money at the restaurant, the bar, the casino, the spa, the room service, et cetera, and convinced a few hotels, initially just Orlando and Vegas, to help, where let us put people in these rooms at next to nothing, and they would see some revenue versus none. Now that we thought to ourselves after a while, because that was helping fulfill our own giveaways without having to cost us money. We thought if we could just get this same concept with hotels all over the world, we would have a standalone business to offer to third parties. And that's eventually what we did. Now we've got over 125 destinations around the world, hundreds of hotels that participate with us on this program, where they'd rather see some revenue come in versus none on rooms that would have otherwise gone empty. They still have the same fixed costs when that hotel goes empty. They still have front desk staff, mortgage payments, light bills, et cetera. So the warm bodies in those rooms, the only extra expense really is the maid service, and they're seeing all the other revenue on the property. So Dan, that kind of explains the how it's a win-win. It's a win for the resorts that are participating. It's a win for the Marketing Boost member using our services. And it's a win for the client who's getting the complimentary room. And all they're really paying is the government taxes. The government's still going to get paid no matter what. When somebody checks in, they expect to get paid for that check-in, for the tourism and hotel taxes, et cetera. So the activation fee we charge covers that, covers the government taxes. And then the client's got 18 months to use the certificate, no timeshare presentations, no hoops to jump through. So it's a super win-win-win product. And we decided if we were going to do this, we were going to make it better than anybody else, which is what we've done.
Interesting. So is there competition in this space? If I'm a retailer and I'm looking to offer some travel vouchers or as giveaways or contests, are there more of you out there that are doing this?
Yeah, we're not the first to do the travel incentive industry. It's been around for decades, but when we decided to do it, we wanted to totally revolutionize this industry. And we have, in the sense that one, our competitors typically make these types of certificates, and you've probably seen them, you want a complimentary cruise, a 3-night cruise to the Bahamas or whatever. Yep. And here's the deal with our competitors. Many of them, one, they sell these certificates between, as much as $99 a piece, and $100 a piece. I've seen $25 each certificate, depending upon how many you buy, stuff like that. Then they make them nearly impossible to use in most cases. You got to give them 60 days advance notice. You got to select 2 of your favorite travel dates, 90 days apart, and then they'll get back to you what they have for you. And then the third thing they do is often many of them require you to do timeshare presentations or stuff like that. So in our case, we decided, one, we would make it super affordable, $37 a month. You're not buying individual certificates. You get as many as you want for $37 a month. 2, we would have no hoops to jump through. Once the activation fee is paid that I mentioned earlier, paying the government taxes, the client logs into a website, no phone calls to make, no hoops to jump, looks in their, puts in their preferred travel dates. They'll see what's available, based on availability. They'll see what hotels are participating, click it, book it, and get instant confirmation, instant gratification. We offer only 3, 4, and 5-star hotels based on TripAdvisor reviews. Most of them are 4 and 5. And what else is the deal? We make it easy to use, no hoops to jump through, no sales presentations of any sort. So that's really what sets us apart, is that it's simple to use for everybody involved, for the Marketing Boost member, for the user who's using the free trip or the complimentary trip or the hotel savings cards, et cetera.
All right. We've got a different perspective on perhaps generating some loyalty, absolutely offering some contests in your store. If you'd like a little bit more information about this, head over to marketingboosttalks.com. Am I correct on that, Marco? Marketingboosttalks.com.
No, that's kind of my podcast page. Just marketingboost.com.
Marketingboost.com. Sorry, your podcast page, Marketing Boost Talks. Yeah, so marketingboost.com. Learn a little bit more about this program. Marco, thanks for joining us on the podcast today. Much appreciated.
You're very welcome.
All right, retailers. That's it for us this week. Join us next week. Same time, same place. If you haven't subscribed to the Canadian Retail Solutions or the Wealthy Retailer newsletter, head over to crs.com, canadianretailsolutions.com, and subscribe to get this podcast and a ton more great information. Thanks, everyone. Happy retailing.